Former Senator representing Kogi West, Dino Melaye, has formally resigned from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, citing the party's inability to provide credible leadership. In a resignation later shared on his official X account and addressed to the chairman of the PDP in Ward 1, Ayetoro Bede, Ijumu local government area of Kogi State, Melaye announced his immediate withdrawal from all party activities. Melaye, who once served as the PDP's candidate in the 2023 Kogi State governorship election, said his decision followed deep reflection on the party's current state and trajectory. For both conversation, I'm joined by political analyst Dotun Oladipo to share his view on the theatrics going on ahead of the 2027 election. Mr. Bala says the ADC constitution provides clear succession procedures that, based on those guidelines, he has now assumed the role of interim national chairman. Is this the correct interpretation of the party's constitution in your view? If yes, could he get his day in court as a result?
Well, what has happened is not strange to those who have been following developments in the polity. The decision of the leadership of the party to give the coalition that platform to use in 2027 is not expected to go unchallenged. But what is clear to an extent is the fact that those who decided on the usage of the platform of that party for that coalition, they did some homework. And like some of us noted before now, one of the reasons why the coalition decided on using the ADC, according to them then, is the fact that the constitution makes it flexible to move into that party, use this as a vehicle, and then move on. So it is not unexpected what is going on.
But it doesn't seem like, from what we are seeing in the media, it doesn't seem like they did a thorough homework before they came into the party. Look at the allegations flying around, and then you had today's declaration and threats of litigation. How much of a legitimacy question are we looking at with the Atiku-led coalition, taking into consideration also that it was the party's founder and former national chairman, Ralph Wosu, who dissolved the NWC and endorsed the interim leadership of former Senate President David Mark?
That's why I said the homework was done. So let's see how much of legitimacy the deputy national chairman will get. Because I'm sure that nobody would have embarked on a journey like that, not even the founder. Because if he wasn't sure of himself, I'm talking of Ralph Wosu now, he wouldn't have done what he did. And when you look at the movement of the coalition, it all started from, do we use the Social Democratic Party? Do we use this other party? Do we register a new one? In fact, at some point we were told about that the coalition had registered and was planning to register close to 10 parties for this purpose. So in settling for the ADC, they did some work. And like you said, let's see how far the deputy national chairman can go.
Okay, let's widen this conversation and look at leadership. Some have argued that we still have a huge problem with leadership for the country generally, citing the questions and the controversy around this coalition that we have, ADC, the internal wrangling in the APC, and what you have in the PDP as the opposition. They seem unable to keep their houses in order. How would they hope to manage Nigeria? That's the big question in everybody, on most people's mind.
Well, what we've always failed to address and which the Independent National Electoral Commission keeps hammering on, is the fact that there is no internal democracy within our parties. And I'm a supporter of the fact that we need to go back to running our parties the way we learned it was done in the Second Republic, where the people own the party and not a few individuals. For instance, it was a different ballgame in the Second Republic, where we had the leadership of the party being superior to political actors, whether they are appointees or elected. For instance, in the Second Republic, the national chairman of the party was, in a way, quote unquote, now superior to the president. And those at the state level, the chairmen, they were superior to the governors because they were charting the course for those elected to follow. It was not the other way around. Now it is the other way around.
Okay. I have so many questions for you. In the interest of time, I want you to speak quickly to the question around two obviously intending presidential candidates being in a coalition like the ADC. We know for a fact that Peter Obi has his ambition to be president. Atiku Abubakar has his ambition to be president. That kind of coalition, there's speculation around it. I would like to hear your thoughts.
Well, there are more than two. Don't forget you've not added Rotimi Amechi. Don't forget in that coalition you also have Kayode Fayemi. So don't forget also Nasir El-Rufai. So even if El-Rufai says I want to support a Southerner, then that will now mean he's knocking himself out. So there are so many of them there. What I see happening is that Atiku, if he goes into that contest, will most likely emerge. It's almost 90% certain. So some people who still believe that they must run will leave and go and run on other platforms. That's what I see happening.
It's curious, isn't it, that you're in a coalition that you probably won't get the ticket. But moving on quickly, Dino Melaye has announced that he's no longer a member of the PDP. Just a couple of days ago, I spoke to a chieftain of the PDP, Dr. Adetokunbo Pierce, who seemed very optimistic, and I dare say he is quite confident about the party's chances, as he says they were working together to ensure that happens. And then we hear news like this, that even more prominent names are leaving the party. It isn't looking really good for the PDP right now, is it?
Well, it isn't, but the exit of Dino Melaye should not come as a shock to anyone. We know he's an ally of Atiku Abubakar, and the likelihood of going in Atiku's direction is very high. But don't also forget, there are reports that the PDP is already saying to Peter Obi that now that Atiku has left and we are likely going to go for a southern candidate, please return. And in fact, one of the chieftains of the party said they visited him in his home just to pass on this message and plead with him to return to the PDP. So while some are leaving, some who are within that system still believe that they can make the party a strong one. And the calculation is, if Obi agrees to return to the PDP, then you can imagine the number that his obedience, that's the supporters, are likely to take back to the PDP. So it's a matter of expecting more movements in different directions. And between now and the end of the year, we'll see a lot of that. We'll see a lot of that. How it now pans out at the end of the day is what we wait to see in 2027.
As they say, it's the political season, so we should expect the unexpected and the expected. Thank you very much, Dotun, for speaking with us and sharing insights.
Thank you for having me too. I appreciate you. Thank you.